Hello, uh, I am Sushobhan Rai, Assistant Professor of SBST in EC Department. Uh, Today I am going to discuss on PN junction diode. So PN junction diode basically constructed by using two kind of material, which are P-type and N-type material, and these kind of material are basically made by different kind of semiconductor uh, like silicon, germaniums, etc. So P-type and N-type materials taken separately are of very limited use. So if we join these two material, P and N-type material, such that the crystal structure remains continuous at the boundary, then a junction will be formed, which is called the PN junction. It is called the PN junctions, and it is a very useful device, and this is called a semiconductor diode or a crystal diode. PN junctions diodes, the special characteristics, one of the most important characteristics of PN junction diode is it can conduct current in only one directions. That means this is a unidirectional device, and the another characteristics is we can use a diode as a switch. This is a symbolic representation of an ideal PN junction diode. This is a two terminal device. One is anode terminal denoted by positive sign, another one is cathode terminal which is denoted by negative sign, and the voltage across the diode is denoted by Vd, which is called the diode voltage. When the current will flow from positive to negative terminal, if we consider the diode as a switch, then we can say that the switch is in on state. That is why the current will flow from positive to negative terminal. That means the diode is in conducting mode. But in case of reverse directions, when the current no current will flow actually from negative to positive terminal, that means the switch is in off state, or you can say the diode is in blocking state. This is the operations of a switch. This is the ideal diode, is a short circuit for region of conduction. Figure A represents the short circuit conditions when the current is flowing from anode to cathode terminal. Okay, then the diode is in conducting state. A current which is represented by ID, which is called the diode current, will flow from anode to cathode. But in case 2, which is for non-conducting case, here the switch is in open state. Okay, because diode is a unidirectional device, that is why no current will flow from reverse case. Okay, so that is why the ID equal to 0, the diode current equal to 0, and this type of conditions is basically called the open circuit condition. So now the question has come, how does the PN junction has been formed? So P means the material which is made by P-type semiconductor, and N means the material which is made by N-type semiconductor. So P regions, the majorities carriers are holes and the minorities are electrons. Similarly, in case of N-type bead, the majorities are electrons and minorities are holes. Holes and electrons are the mobile charge particles, and but the ions are immobile. So how does the ion is generated inside this bead? I will discuss later. So before I am going to discussing the generations of ion or the movement of particles, I want to say if we simply pushing the two semiconductor material P and N type material together by using different fabrication techniques, then a junction will be formed, and this junction is basically called the PN junction. So PN junction itself is an important device. Practically all semiconductor devices contain at least one PN junction. For this reason, it is very necessary to understand how the PN junction behaves. So these are the modes of operations or different kind of biasing techniques in PN junction devices. So this is the applications of voltage across its terminals. There are three kind of possibilities they left. One is no bias conditions, that means we are not applied any external potential across the PN junctions. Second one is reverse bias, when the applied voltage is less than 0, and another one is forward biased, when the applied voltage is greater than 0 volt. So this is the no bias condition. These configurations describe the no bias conditions of PN junction diode. So this is the left side bead is represents the P type bead, and the right side semiconductor bead, which is sky color, basically is represent the N type semiconductor bead. So what will be happened when we are not applied any external potential or voltage across the PN junction? So basically what will be happened, holes are moving or try to diffused from P to N side, and electrons are try to diffused from N to P side. And after the diffusion, or due to the time of diffusions, actually it is called the migrations of particles. Whenever particles are migrated from P to N, which are holes, and N to P, which are electrons, then they leave some immobile ions across the region, across the junctions. Okay, when holes are migrating, they leave negative immobile ions, and when electrons are migrating from N to P, they leave positive immobile ions, and they moves due to the thermal energy, and also because there is a difference in their concentrations in two regions. So basically the diffusion takes place from higher to lower concentration region, so there will be obviously a difference in their concentrations in two regions. The P region has more holes and N region has more electrons. Normally the holes and electrons flow towards each other, and they will recombine after a certain time, and after recombinations they will be eliminated. But in practice this does not occur. The diffusion of holes and free electrons across the junction occurs within a very short time period. So after a few recombinations of holes and electrons, they will restraining a force which will be set up automatically across the junction regions, and this force is called a barrier. And further diffusions of holes and electrons from one side to another side, from P to N or N to P, they will be stopped by this barrier. And due to the formations of these barriers, a width has been generated, and this is called the depletion region width. Okay, so the depletion region containing uncompensated acceptor and donor ions across the junction. Sometimes it is also referred as the space charge region. Okay, and the electric field between the acceptor and the donor acceptor and the donor is called a barrier, and the physical distance of the barrier is called the width of the barrier. So this is the entire operations is for no bias condition of a PN junction diode. Now in case of reverse bias conditions, what will be happened? An external potential V is applied across the PN junction. It is called reverse bias. Why? Because the P terminal is connected to the negative polarity of the battery and the N terminal is connected to the positive polarity of the battery. So in case of reverse bias, what will be happened? In case of reverse bias, the holes in the P region are attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery and the electrons across the N region are attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery. Thus, the majority carriers in P-type as well as in N-type bits are totally attracted towards the battery terminal. That is why the majority carriers are drawn away from the junction. And these actions, the depletion layer has been formed inside the semiconductor bead. If we increase the barrier potential, it makes more difficult for majority carriers to diffuse across the junction. And this barrier potential is very helpful to minority carriers in crossing the junction. In fact, as soon as the minority carriers is generated, it is drifted across the junction because of the barrier potential. And the rate of generations of minority carriers is basically depends upon the external voltage or external temperature. If the external voltage is remain constant or the temperature is remain constant or fixed, then the generation rate of minority carriers also remain constant. Therefore, the current due to the flow of minority carriers remains same. And for this reason, this current is called reverse saturation current, and which is very small. Okay, because in case of reverse bias, the current will flow due to the flow of minority charge particles. Why? Because the majority particles are attracted or they are basically drawn away from the junction due to the applied external potential. Okay, now this is the forward biased conditions. In case of forward biased, if we connected the P terminal across the positive polarity of the battery and N terminal with the negative polarity, then this kind of configurations will known as the forward biased conditions or the forward biased configurations. The positive terminal is connected to the P-type material and the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the N-type material. So what will be happen when the PN junction is forward biased? Holes are repels from the positive terminal of the battery and electrons or the negative particles, they are also repels from the negative terminal of the battery, and due to this repulsion they will drift towards the junctions. Because of their acquired energy, some of holes and free electrons penetrate the depletion region or the depletion layer, and the width of the depletion region is reduces due to this internal penetrations or internal force, and hence more currents will flow inside this loop. Okay, as a result, what will be happened if the width of the layer is reduced? That means more majority charge particles will diffused across the junctions from P to N or N to P, and they can easily diffused by certain change of very few amount of change of external potential, and these carriers recombine and they cause the movement of charge particles inside the space charge region. This is the basic operations of PN diode in forward mode, and this is the current versus voltage characteristics or the IV characteristics of two kind of PN diode, which are basically made by germanium as well as silicon. So in this graph we can see that basically in this is a graph in between current and voltage, and the x-axis represents the diode voltage and y-axis represents the diode current. The first quadrant represents the forward characteristics of diode, and the third quadrant represents the reverse characteristics of PN junction diode. From this graph we can visualize that if we change the forward voltage within a very small range or very small deviations of gap, then we are not getting. So from the curve actually we find that the diode current is very small, at the first few of a voltage applied, the diode does not conduct because we are not getting any current. But after a certain voltage level, which is basically 0.7 level, we can see the current is increasing rapidly for silicon. Okay, in case of germanium, which is represented by this dotted black curve line, and this is in case of germanium, which is basically above 0.3 volt, it is basically 0.4 and 0.5 in between. We can see the current is increasing sharply, but the voltage is remain constant. So that means when the external voltage overcomes the barrier potential, in case of silicon which is 0.7 and in case of germanium which is 0.3 volt, then we will get a huge amount of current which is called the forward current, ID. Okay, and the particular voltage at which the current just starts to increase rapidly is called the cut-in voltage or the knee voltage. In case of silicon which is 0.7, in case of germanium which is 0.3 or 0.4 volt. So this is the IV characteristics of PN junction diode. Now this is the general characteristics of a PN diode. This is the current equations for the forward and reverse bias region, and this is the diode current. ID represent the diode current equal to IS, is called the saturation current, to the power kVd divided by Tk minus 1. For Vd is greater than 0 volt, ID will be positive. 0 volt means for forward conditions, and the current grows exponentially. But at Vd equal to 0 volt, that means at absolute zero conditions, there will be no current will flow across the diode. That means ID is also 0 in milliampere range. Okay, in case 3, for Vd, when Vd less than 0 volt, then the ID will equal to IS. That means the diode current is very small, and this is called the reverse saturation current. If we go through the plot and observe the third quadrant, then we can see the voltage is increasing rapidly in reverse order, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 and so on, but you are not getting such a proper amount of current that we want to need actually, but it is not possible in case of reverse mode. That is why from this plotting we can conclude that we are increasing the voltage but we are not getting current. Actually the current which we are getting is very small, which is basically in microampere range, 0.1, 0.2, whatever it is, and this plot is for 0.1 microampere range. Okay, and this current is basically called a reverse saturation current, and this is almost a constant current flow, but the voltage is not constant in like forward biased mode. Okay, it is increasing rapidly, and in case of reverse bias region, Vd is less than 0 volt because the polarity is negative inside sign, and Id is equal to minus of Is, saturation current. The diode current equal to the saturation current. So now, what is Zener region? In the negative region, there is a point where the current increases at a very rapid state in a directions opposite to that positive voltage region. In case of reverse mode, we already seen that in case of reverse mode, the current is due to the movement of minority charge particles, and it is almost independent of the voltage applied externally. However, if the reverse bias is made too high, the current through the PN junction increases abruptly, which is shown over here in this diagram. The current is increasing abruptly in third quadrant. Okay, so and what will be happened when the current will increasing abruptly? That means the voltage at which this phenomena is occurred, and this voltage is called the breakdown voltage. That means the junction breakdown is happening. Okay, so there are two kind of breakdown phenomena happened in case of reverse mode. One is Zener breakdown, another one is called the avalanche breakdown. When the reverse bias is increased, the electric field at the junction is also increases, and due to the high electric field, the covalent bonds break. Thus, a large number of carrier are generated inside the crystalline bead, and due to the generations of charge carriers, they causes a large current to flow, and this mechanism is basically called the breakdown mechanism, and this is called the Zener breakdown. So this is called the Zener breakdown. Now another breakdown mechanism which is called the avalanche breakdown. So here we are plotting two curve in third quadrant. One is for Zener breakdown and another one representing the avalanche breakdown. So what is avalanche breakdown? In case of avalanche breakdown, if we increase the electric field too much, okay, so what will be happened? The velocity of minority particles is also increasing in order, and due to the high energy, they will break the covalent bonds, and they will break the covalent bonds rapidly and generating much more carriers inside the crystalline bead. And due to the generations of carrier and due to the increase the certain amount of voltage across the output terminal, what will be happen? The electric field inside the bead is also increased, and the velocity of the carriers is also be increased in order. Then that means a chain reactions will be established and creating a large number of carriers, and this gives rise to high reverse current. Okay, and this kind of mechanism is basically called avalanche breakdown mechanism. Thank you.